Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and I'm back with another reaction to Krypton. I know it has been a minute, more than a minute. It's been a long time since I've been able to get back to this show, but I really want to catch up with The Flash because it is ending pretty quickly, so I wanted to just kind of get that one all caught up, and now I want to catch up with Krypton because it's got a shorter season as well. As for this is for episode 5, by the way, which is called House of Zod, and I know you're probably thinking, what about episode 4? Well, what had happened was, I actually recorded my reaction and my review for House of Zod, of episode 4, not House of Zod, and yeah, unfortunately I deleted it. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. I was trying to get a bunch of my recordings together and clean up some stuff, and unfortunately I accidentally deleted that. I thought I had already copied it to my hard drive and I hadn't, so rookie mistake. Very sorry, and I thought about re-recording it, but I don't want to give like a fake reaction. You know, it just doesn't feel right and seems weird to do. So I don't have episode 4 as far as a reaction. I will talk a little bit about the highlights of it in the review for this video for episode 5, but that's what happened. There wasn't a whole lot of things that I had to talk about, but I will kind of keep it down to the main points and then go right into whatever I discussed for episode 5. I can at least do a quick recap of what happened in that one because it's pretty fresh, which was basically with Lyta Zod being arrested, basically considered to be a failure for not getting the rankless initiative off the ground. Of course, with Seg having to lie about everything that went down with what really happened with Brainiac's emissary. Poor Lyta just had no way to really explain why she defied all of her superiors and didn't follow orders. And of course, at that point, Rao was feeling very upset and very unsafe, so he wanted somebody to punish. And so the coward that Vex is, he suggested using Lyta. So without further ado, we're going to this one. It's called House of Zod. I think this is going to be a lot about Lyta's backstory as well as potentially Jaina, her mother. We've seen so far those two Zods have been pretty badass, and I'm very interested to see if this is more about the history or just about the whole pride around the House of Zod. We saw how brokenhearted Jaina was in the last episode over the idea that someone in her family is being accused of treason of all things. And so let's get into this episode and find out what we learn about the House Zod. Okay? Let's boo. Damn!
Are without equal.
Wow.
And without question.
I mean, some families have hugs, but I guess not the case here.
Earn the name Zod, we must place honor above all. Above love.
Oh wow, Jaina's brother wasn't that much of a thug. Ooh, look at all the hobbit holes.
Deactivate the barrier.
Dev.
You're in Zod. Wouldn't run even if I begged you.
True.
Do it and go. I'll be responsible.
That's what she was looking for. She's like, I ain't going down for this. Okay. This Gil, though.
I was already in love with you.
Oh, bless him.
Look, I know you don't feel the same way.
Whew.
About you.
Saved an awkward combo.
So I tell that I'm just supposed to sit around with my thumb up my ass.
Ew.
Yes, if you think that's gonna help.
Weird earth rituals. I don't know, sweetie. I don't know. Wait. That's his house, but there's something mixed in there. Whoa!
Friend of Rikers.
Quick thinking.
You've risked everything.
Sir, your daughter is far smarter than you are. Just...
You will be out soon. And we'll be sipping drinks by nightfall.
Are they banging?
Every moment of your life is a test, one that reveals who you are, and if you truly are worthy.
How is that mirror even remotely effective? That's a big sword. And I'm not just compensating. Jane is hardcore, man. She's been stone cold since day one. Really? Why does that man blend in with the wall?
You take your place in the House of Zod, protector of Krypton.
I wonder if her brother survived.
Serving it.
I mean, I feel like this should be an endearing moment, but it's so, like, dark and abusive, I can't.
All testimony is hereby rescinded, and all charges of treason are dropped. You are to be reinstated immediately to full rank.
Oh, okay. So this couldn't have been told to me before there was a blade an inch from my face. Okay.
Apologizes.
No problem. Just soiled myself. Good on the daughter, though. I mean, she's got her vice grip on her daddy right now.
But you've always been my greatest love. And now my greatest shame.
Mother?
What? Damn, it's like getting pulled in for a hug, but then a slap instead. Damn.
End program.
Thank God, that's a sweet android. But, whew, if that had been a real person.
The sacrifice has to be made.
That family's poison, man. Never trust a big button to smile. Beacon? Signal? Christmas lights? Meth? Ah. Look at you being all inventive and stuff. Not just a pretty face, kids.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Shh. People are looking for you.
Fortunately, you're okay. You've always been the strongest, bravest person I know. And it's cold as shit out here. I bet you'd survive it, though.
Probably.
You will survive it. I know you. I'd give anything to kiss you one more time.
Stop it!
You are everything good in me.
Stop it, Seg. Stop with your Hallmark crap.
Follow me.
She's going to get her man.
There's still a chance.
That's why I'm coming with you. I've got a general area of where it's at.
You're with me. SNR Ops. Outlands.
What, you've never seen a topless dude before? Okay, sorry. There was a little more.
Higgsby gone break bad news to Mr. Bat.
Secure that shit, Lieutenant.
Woo!
We bring him back alive. Clear.
So it's Copy Commander.
All right. Do not mess with her. She's had a day, okay?
She holds the key to stopping Brainiac. Tell us where she is.
Well, if you told me that to begin with. Woo! Light is not screwing around.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sweet face.
Oh, my babies.
Stay here.
Is she gonna be able to find her way back? Yep. Always watch your six. Come on, Lyta. I know you've had a hell of a day, but I need that House Zod to come out right about now. Good girl. Good girl. Nerve of you. Yes. Why do I feel like this is a Zod? Is this her uncle? He's gonna see that necklace.
What's that Connie.
We fam!
Who gave you that?
You. I'm your son.
The actual what? So he's in the future? He must be. I mean, if Adam is. Huh. Is he? Okay. Sorry. I'm formulating thoughts. That was the episode. Episode 5, which was called House Zod. All right. Well, things picked up a lot there at the end. Good episode. I like that this show, I think I said this around episode 1, that in a show like this, you know, with sci-fi being the people doing it, there just isn't the room and the budget to do like a lot of crazy special effects and the Big Bang approach to the show. So much like, you know, a lot of British shows do this too, where they do a lot more character-driven dramas, and I feel like this show is very much a character-driven drama with a little bit of sci-fi and action packed into it as well. And so, that being said, they do that character development with these guys, and I like that, because when you have really good, strong characters and they're developed well, it really makes you invested in the story and in the people who are telling the story or showing the story in this case. So, this time we got to see a little bit more about what House Zod's all about, getting a little insight into Jaina, because we've seen a lot of her since the first episode, but it's very much been seemingly one-dimensional, right? The first introduction we get to Jaina, she's breaking people's arms, she's stabbing people in the hand, she's basically saying that there's no such thing as mercy or softness or tenderness or any of that stuff. This is, you know, Sagittari, this is Zod, we're all about honor and blood, and that's it. And you know, especially I think in the last episode and then this one where we've seen Lyta in literal mortal danger, and her mother's response being very unlike, like especially when you take that and juxtapose it to Seg's mother, right? Seg's mom went straight into mommy instinct mode. Like she did everything she could to protect her child at all costs, even sacrificing her own life. Then we've got, you know, Jaina, who on the other hand is having a very untraditional maternal response in that her daughter was being charged with treason, and it seemed that she was more upset about that than she was about the fact that the penalty for treason is death. It was nice to actually get a little bit more insight in like what made this woman this way. Like that's not, again, we don't know what world, the world of Krypton in general seems like it's detaching itself further and further from human type emotions, but usually that maternal instinct is like, it's usually the strongest bond that two people will have. Like a mother and their child, usually it's a bond that's unlike any other. And obviously, I don't know whether or not Lyta was born traditionally or she was born of the pods. But either way, most of the time, a parent feels a very strong urge to protect their children. And seeing Jaina kind of step back since, you know, Lyta's sentencing and just being like, well, you know, this is the way things go. Honor's here. Everything else comes after. Like, familial connections don't mean anything. It seems so strange. And now we got that back history. Now we saw that she wasn't raised with any real affection. The one person in her life who was maybe somewhat affectionate and loving towards her was her brother, and she left him to die. Which is cold. Like, I mean, it's one of those things where, is it worse that she left him to freeze to death, or should she have killed him first and at least given him that mercy? But again, mercy is not a trait of the Sagittari, so she acted exactly the way that her father would have expected. And it's sad, like when you look at this, it's very interesting storytelling, right? Because obviously we don't live in a weird alien world where all these things exist, but to think, to be raised in such a way where there's no familial affection, and to have a father who's pitting two children against each other to the point of death, telling them that the fact that they share blood means nothing, that it's all about protecting this ideal more than anything, is just, it's so sad to me. And I know that that's a reality in this world, that there are people out there who are raised with a very militant mindset, and unfortunately it overshadows the things that I feel are most important in life, which are your family, which are your connections to people. But it was sad, and we saw that from that moment pretty much on, you know, Jaina's very much tried to be this ideal of what her father said she should be, or what a Zod should be, which is basically a machine, really just a fighting machine who bleeds for the, you know, for whatever they serve. So, very interesting. It looks like Lyta definitely took after the brother's side of the family. She doesn't have that same instinctual desire to hurt people. She doesn't seem to take the same position on being cold-blooded. We know she's got the fierceness in her, but there's empathy, right? That's something that her mother has learned to be very detached from. And I mean, in the end, she did save her daughter. I realized afterwards the head nod that she gave to Nyssa was, you know, go ahead, I will do what I have to do because I can't bear, you know, seeing that connection anyways, that she once walked away from someone that she loved because of honor. Lyta clearly has been carrying that, or sorry, Jaina has been carrying that around clearly probably her entire life, knowing that that was probably the worst thing she's ever done. And now here's this girl, this daughter who, even though she gives her a hard time, I think that this is the only way. Now we see it now. Like, there's no other way for Jaina to show love. She wasn't raised in an affectionate environment, so she doesn't know how to be that way. And in that scene that they shared when she's finally released and Jaina says that, you know, I know you don't understand it, but you are my greatest love. Like, that is so, you can see just that frustration. Like, even the hug, when Lyta gives her that big warm hug and she just doesn't even know how to respond to it. You know, she's numbed that part of herself for so long that she can't even respond with general affection towards her own child. And it's sad. It's very sad for Jaina, but it's probably why she's been such a great soldier for this long, because she can make that detachment. Anyway, that was kind of a really cool journey. I love seeing the strength that these women have. Again, really great storytelling of the women in this show. Everything with Lyta, keeping her head up, keeping strong. I love the little moment even between her and her fiance. I really should write his name down. I like him. You know, even though I do like Seg and Lyta together, I do like this guy. I can't hate him. Because he's not even doing the whole, like, I'm a nice guy who's, you know, pretending that, you know, I'm okay with you being with that other guy just so that you'll feel bad for me. Like, it literally is a thing where he's just like, he realizes that in this world, they're forced to marry people they don't even know that well sometimes, and that people will have their own feelings. And if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, Seg was rankless, the reality is him and Lyta probably would have already been, you know, together. But I really like that he was very kind in those moments in the cell with Lyta. Seg's story, not a whole lot happened there. I feel like he was just kind of, he needed to be there because he is the star of the show. We need to see what's going on with him, but not much happened in his case outside of the fact that he discovered that there's some kind of tie between House L and whoever those people were, and there was a chamber, it looked like, but you notice that his symbol looked different? Like, to me, it almost looked like it was a symbol of his house and House Zod. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it kind of looked like to me. But anyways, clearly something happened with his ancestors. I don't know if it was grandfather or it was earlier than that, but them and whoever these Outland people are, they are not getting along, and specifically with House L. So I'm very interested as to what's going on there, why they're so against House L, and why they consider them to be villains when it seems like they've always been fairly peaceful from what we can see. And obviously, you know, Seg bumping into Lyta's son, like, okay, let's just get into that. Let's dissect that for a little second. I don't want to talk too much because I know that it's probably in the next episode, which I need to catch up on, but I never thought for a second, until I saw that that Jaina had a brother in this episode, I thought, okay, well, maybe it's her uncle. Maybe her uncle didn't die out there. Maybe he's still alive. But her son? Like, what? Like, okay, so that just changes the game a lot. How did he end up back here? Because clearly, Lyta didn't give her blood for anything yet that I know of. But even so, you can't fast grow humans in Krypton yet, to my understanding, you know? You can't just fast forward that button. So he's clearly from the future as well, coming back to try to save the past. I don't know, did he grow up on Krypton? And whose child is he? Because, well, I guess he could be the child of her fiance, because if they did the same thing with Lyta and her fiance that they did with Seg and Nyssa, they already took his they might have taken their DNA and already created a child, so it could technically be him. But I'm wondering, especially considering the fact that that symbol looked jacked up to me, that maybe this is a child of Lyta, and because I'm thinking that fiery spirit and the wit that he's got, like, that does not seem indicative of what I've seen of Lyta's fiance. That looks like something that could easily be a combination of Seg and Lyta. And then him maybe not necessarily being able to be claimed with House Zod because of, I don't know. My imagination's running wild, but yeah, I need to know who this kid is. Yeah, that was a twist I was not expecting in the least. I can tell you, that definitely threw me for a loop. But the fact that he said, the guy who captured him said, "I need you alive," was huge to me, because I'm like, you know, if he is the Savage, and we've seen him, he kills people without thinking twice about it. He's clearly not like squeamish about killing. So the fact that he needs Seg alive seems pretty massive, right? Like, so like maybe if Seg is his father, like if Seg dies out of existence, maybe he'll die out of existence. That kind of need to keep you alive, maybe. Anyway, I'm hoping that's the case, because that would be an interesting twist in all of this, because then he'll become like the canary in the coal mine to know if Seg and Lyta do okay as long as he stays alive. I like that kind of stuff. Anyway, I've gone way off track. I don't know who he is. Please don't tell me yet. I'm going to continue binge watching. This was good. This was really good. Like I said, towards the end there, really picked up. Very interesting. I'm still invested. I still want to know how this story is going to end. So if you like this video, guys, please click like. If you want to see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya.